You know, when you find out that you're a transvestite, I mean, I started dressing before I knew they existed, and then suddenly you find out, and then you find out that what they do is pretend to be women. And I was like, okay, that's what you do. So you try to look as much like a real woman as possible. Hello, I'm Grayson Perry. I'm a very successful artist. Hello, I'm Grayson Perry.
The one thing everyone knows about Grayson Perry, the celebrated British artist and Turner Prize winner, he's a man fond of wearing a dress.
So I spent the first sort of 20 years of being a transvestite trying really hard to walk down the street and no one would notice me because I'd look like a housewife. I would dress like a regular high street woman and hope to pass as a woman, you know, going out shopping or whatever. And then I suddenly thought, no, this is not working. I want a bit of attention. And so I decided I want to be a man in a dress. And so that's what I do now, I'm a man in a dress.
Perry has made himself a household name in Britain by sculpting pots and stitching bold tapestries that grapple with modern social issues. Mischief is one of his biggest motivations.
You don't want this to be known as your alter ego anymore, though, do you? Because in the past, everyone called you Claire.
It's lazy journalism. I've never actually said it, as far as I know. But that's what they assume. I think because of Marshall Duchamp and other people, you know, they have an act. I'm up front, you know, I use the gents, and you could spot that I'm a man in a dress from a passing helicopter. So it's like, you know, it's not really, I'm not really out to deceive anyone about my gender, you know, I am a man. I went for the normal kind of anxiety that if I want to put on women's clothes, then maybe I want to be a woman. But I think I cleared that one up fairly early on. I think there were kind of news stories about transsexuals and surgery and things like that, and I thought, no, that's not me. I really don't want that. I like my cock. I like me being in a dress. Any artist, it kind of enriches the experience if you know a bit about where the art is coming from and the story, because we are narrative beings as human beings. We love a story. I remember I had a sort of a fantasy, maybe when I was 11 or 12, when I was forced to wear women's clothes, and it's like, whoa. Because I often think our sort of sexuality is like going through a maze in the dark, and you're pushing on the walls, and you're trying ideas out, and then suddenly a door will give way, and you go, whoa, next room, let's go. I'm a transvestite, so I like to dress up, and it's handy for publicity. The first time I went out in my mum's clothes was very, very exciting. And I became addicted to that. It's not really a super intrinsic part of the art. You know, I use my dressing up as a way of signalling that I'm talking about gender sometimes in the work. I don't think I was actually struggling with that I was a man, because I also did really butch things as well, and I was quite happy doing both. I've had days where I've spent the morning roaring around the countryside on a motorbike, and then in the evening put on a dress and go out to a dinner somewhere. If anything, being a transvestite has made me a hell of a lot more aware about what it is to be a man. That ability to realise the ridiculousness of it and not kind of say, you must take us seriously. Because, you know, sometimes a bloke in a dress, you know, we're talking about a long cultural history where that was a funny thing. And I embrace the fact now that I look funny. Trans is challenging something very, very basic about being human for a lot of people. I'm more interested in the kind of emotional rewards of being, you know, of finding who you are. That's been one of the great joys of my life, was sort of not giving a damn. That's my whole goal of life, is like not giving a damn.
I don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck? No. To me, the highest level of happiness is I don't give a fuck. As much as I want to tell him what's good about this and what's good about that, this wonderful bearded man has achieved the highest level of humanity. We must give him a standing ovation. He doesn't give a fuck. Stand up and clap up.